YouTube, how's it going? I'm tuning in today from Tel Aviv in Israel. Absolutely stunning and incredible place. The interview today is with NinjaTea. NinjaTea is an up-and-coming grime artist and MC. He is a good friend of mine, and I've seen his perseverance and determination allow him to grow a global audience. He's an incredible up-and-coming musician. Tune into this episode of the 10-Minute Mindset. Thank you so much for your time today. I know you're
Thank you for having me.
Just got back from Indonesia, so thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, NinjaTea is born in Jakarta, Indonesia, but raised in Manchester, UK, is an upcoming Oriental British grime artist. NinjaTea is building towards becoming an independent global artist with a worldwide fan base of ninjas, whilst becoming the first person to truly bring grime culture to the Indonesian hip-hop scene, while simultaneously becoming a cultural influencer. Ninja, could you let us know sort of what inspired you to get into what you're doing now?
Thank you so much for that introduction, legend. So for me, like when people say, like, why do you want to be a grime artist? Why do you want to be a rapper? I tell them, how could I not be? Growing up in the UK, initially when we first came here, when I was 1 year old, in 1996, I grew up in pretty low-class socio-economic environments where it was highly African and Jamaican communities. So for me, being into grime music, being into hip-hop, being into reggae, being into dancehall, like I was just surrounded by that culture, and I just grew up around MCs, I grew up around producers, I grew up around dancers. So initially, it's just, like for me, it's just a natural process of just growing up in that culture, being a fan of that culture, and then eventually wanting to become an artist within this culture.
Amazing. And would you say that your whole life you've always wanted to be a musician, or have you had times in your life you've done something else and then maybe realized that you want to be a musician, or was it really just from day one?
Absolutely not. I started music as a hobby 10 years ago. When I was around 12 years old, I actually picked up the guitar, and I wasn't actually rapping, I was singing. So I was doing that casually from like 12 to 17. And then I think, maybe 16, 17, I started like MCing and doing my first bars. And when you start something and you're naturally talented because you're already pretty good. But I was already pretty good on starting, so that was like a good indicator. But I only started taking music seriously around 20 years old, and within that process, I had a lot of interest before I was focusing on the music. Like I was really into my skateboarding, I was really into streetwear fashion, kind of things that tie to rap music, and I used to be a web developer. And, I quit my job at 19, and then I was freelancing in that. So no, it was a process of trial and error, and it was definitely a fun process to go through a lot of stuff. And then finally at 20 years old is when I decided that this is what I'm going to put my energy towards.
Yeah, amazing. And it's clearly something that you're super passionate about and you're super excited about. And like, how important is it for people to find their passions and really find what they love the most and then go all in on that?
How important is it? Well, see, the way that I see it is that I don't think that every person has a passion quite like mine. Some people have day jobs and they find because really it's about happiness, right? So I am like a young single guy with no responsibilities who lives with my dad. I don't go to university and I don't have a job per se, so I spend the majority of my time just doing what I love, and which is music, and a minimum amount of my time doing what I don't love, and that's I have to work a little bit, a few little side hustles, and I do like that, but I don't love it. So in terms of like how important is it to have a passion, it's not. I don't say to everybody, you have to have a passion like mine. I just think really it's about happiness. And with regards to finding your passion, I always just say experimentation is the key. I had to go through so many processes. You know, I had to fall on my skateboard and just eat concrete. I had to dance a lot in the studio. I had to do 200 photo shoots to realize that I didn't want to be a model. I had to code 100 websites to understand that I didn't want to be a web developer. So yeah, what I would say, just keep experimenting and then find your balance and then see what makes you happy. And for whatever reason, spending 10 hours in the studio or 2 days in the studio and being addicted to this grind is my happiness.
Yeah, I love that,
Other
man.
people wouldn't be as happy.
I love that, man. The power of experimentation. Yeah, that's wicked. Cool. Yo, thank you for that. You must have had a few really big challenges on your journey so far. Just in the last recent years, when you really just started to really double down on music. What was one of, if not the biggest challenge you faced, and how did you overcome that challenge?
I would say one of my biggest challenges in terms of music is not the musical process. I find writing music super easy. Like I can write songs and bars and rap all day, but it was, for me, like the hardest process was like the mental process of my immediate peers not liking my music. My immediate and not receiving immediate support, which at the time I felt entitled to. Because sometimes when you're so passionate about something, you forget that everybody else is really busy with what they're doing, and you forget that the world doesn't stop for you. So I remember when I was releasing my first music videos, and I'm like, damn, I worked so hard. I put my blood, sweat, and tears. I invested money into this, you know. Like a music video can cost me $250,000 plus, you know, mix and master and the beat. That's like £100. And social media advertising. Like, I worked so hard for this. I put so much money into it, and I'm not even getting 1,000 views. Like, why doesn't the world recognize me? But I'm totally over that, because my newest music video has got 9,000 plays in 5 days on my own channel. So yeah, I'm totally over that. But I would say one of the biggest challenges was just the mental, you know, barrier of like, why don't people like this? Why don't people love this? Why is my friend not listening to me?
I love that. And how did you overcome that? Because that's a really big thing. That's like people can get lost in that, like that doubt that things aren't going their way and then just give up. So what were you telling yourself to really overcome that, like, feeling?
For me, I just took it as motivation. I was like, well, if my friends don't like this, because I compare the songs that I did, you know, a year and a half ago to the songs that I do now, I just took it as like, well, it's just not good enough, Ninja. So you're just gonna have to go again. And again. And that's why I've got like 14 music videos in the past 13 months. So
that's amazing, man.
just honestly, I just took it as motivation fuel to just keep going, keep consistent, and then eventually people just have to listen. Because when you release one song and they don't listen, and 2 songs they don't listen, after the 5th song, once the 5th song's really good and it catches the attention of people, a large proportion of people will listen to your other 4 songs. Because one of the best advices I got as a musician, or just as a content creator, is one of the best ways to promote your content is by creating new content, and then it'll promote your old content. Every time I release a new music video, all my other songs rise.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah, amazing. That's wicked. That's a wicked tip, bro. That's a wicked tip. So you just mentioned briefly there how you've been doing loads of stuff in Indonesia. Was it 14 music videos, 5 music
14
videos,
songs, 5
music videos?
Yeah.
You're so busy. You must be flat out. Could you maybe give us 1 or 2 sort of tips or tricks that you use that allow you to be so productive and get so much done?
Absolutely. And this applies to a lot of things in life as well. You want to learn to be attractive, because obviously you're always at some level going to be a chaser. But when you become attractive, the reason why I was so productive is because not going too deep into it, but like I made a conscious effort whilst building these relationships with the Indonesian hip hop scene. Bear in mind that these were all exclusively digital relationships. So when I was going to Indonesia, it was attractive because I'd captured the attention of the Indonesian hip hop scene. Everybody from the top of Indonesian hip hop scene knows me. Then last minute I was coming to Indonesia, and it was attractive for me to be there, and everybody was just inviting me to shows, inviting me to radio, inviting me to collab. So that was the key. It wasn't me chasing, it was me being attractive.
And by attractive, it's more, what could you define what you mean by attractive? It's not like physically attractive. It's more just like, tell me a bit more. What do you mean by the word attractive there?
What I mean by attractive is just that um, in my musical sense, just somebody who people wants to be around, give opportunities to, and work with, collaborate with, and mutually benefit from.
Amazing. So just sort of developing your especially your digital energy and just sort of making you that person that people want to spend their time with. That's
exactly
wicked. That is awesome. That is awesome. Do you have any daily habits and rituals that allow you to be so high performing throughout the day and just not get burnt out and just really be able to manage your own well-being and healthiness?
Oh, is that my timer? Okay, sorry. So I thought it was your timer. Right, okay. So anyway, so in the modern world, I believe we have 4 main human resources. We've got money, attention, energy, and time. I believe back in the day, not going too deep in caveman times, money wasn't an issue. Attention wasn't really an issue because you didn't have all these distractions, and your energy was put into making food, eating, and living. And you pretty much had all the time in the world. So in terms of habits, so I wake up in the morning, and what I do is I don't actually check my social media. I wake up, stretch, eat some food, and I try to make a habit of not checking my phone for the first 30 minutes of the day so I can clear my mind. And then after that, I will execute on the most tasks first. So it might be send emails, it might be invoice somebody, it might be create content, it might be engage with content. And throughout the day, I wouldn't say I've got exact rituals, but I'm very conscious of those 4 things. So I try to spend strategical time in terms of where I put my attention. The reason why I have so much output is because I've got good cash flow management.
Yeah, I like that.
Because my career is expensive. I have to invest highly into this career.
Yeah.
In terms of my energy and time, I just try to delegate that in the best manner possible. I always think that if I put this amount of input in terms of money or retention, what is that output?
Amazing. I love that, bro. Super tactical, super strategic, and incredibly well systematic mind, man. Awesome. Last one, just because this is one of my favorite questions. Throughout life, you must have been giving so much advice around your journey, so much advice for you to get to where you are now. What has been that single best bit of advice you've been given, and why is it so important?
There's so many good advices, but I'm gonna give the first one that springs to my mind at this very second.
Yeah, that's fine.
That I do live by. So it's by RG, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite quotes by him is, "Once you get started, the momentum takes you forward." So I always roll with this energy where I don't, unlike many artists, I do not strive for perfection. I just strive for, is this good? Is this great? Are people going to like this? Do I like this? Am I happy with this? And I don't overexert my energy into something that's perfect because I like to just keep moving. And I just find that once you drop that song, once you drop that piece of content, your mind is clear and you're like, right, you know what? The mix or whatever, that 3 seconds of the video, I don't really like it, but what's 3 seconds in a 3-minute music video? Let's just move on.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. The momentum starts once you get going. That is awesome. Wicked piece of advice. NinjaTea, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for all your time. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. Just keep doing your thing. I know you will. Absolutely nuggets of knowledge, insight, and inspiration from someone who is on a very focused mission and is determined to succeed. I hope we all wish the best of luck to NinjaTea. So thank you so much for watching that video, and as always, let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with a friend. And of course, tune in next Sunday for another episode of the 10-Minute Mindset. Bye for now.